See, today we'll start with RAML based interview questions exactly. Okay. I should not say RAML, honestly speaking. I should say API specification and RAML, honestly speaking. But still, anyway, most of the industry will call it a RAML, right? I'll call that as a RAML interview question and answers. See here, in RAML also, normally, even in certification as well as the interview questions, right? Most of the time, you will have some three to five questions exactly. Okay. Please go on mute. Okay. Most of the time, you will have 3 to 5 questions for sure. Okay. Even in interview as well as the certification also. But for 3 to 5 questions, we need to be prepared with some other all parts of that particular segment, right? Otherwise, what happens? You will not be able to answer what might be the question, and you will not be able to answer. For that reason, I have made almost like some 19 questions. Okay. See, it doesn't mean that if you read these 19 questions, you will clear off 100% interview exactly. But 70 to 80% of the time, you will be cracking the interview for sure. Okay. And with this particular knowledge, at least, see, normally when I observe, right, with this knowledge also, most of the people will not come to the interview. That is the reason. Obviously, I cannot cover 100%. Nobody can cover. It's not me only. Anybody can. Nobody can cover 100%. But we'll try our level best to inculcate all the questions exactly. Okay, fine. Now, first of all, general basic thing. They'll ask what is RAM. Okay, we know the answer, but we'll not be able to frame it properly and express that exactly. Okay, but here it's very simple and crispy. See what first of all, whenever there is a short form, right, abbreviate that exactly. That is the first technique to get the time to remember the other answer. Okay, right? RAML stands for RESTful API Modeling Language, and we know it is a AML based modeling language, right? And also we know to describe RESTful APIs, we'll use that, right? Okay, and we know RESTful APIs, and with the help of RAML, what are we trying to do? We are trying to do API specification. That's what I mentioned here. RAML stands for RESTful API Modeling Language. RAML is a AML based modeling language to describe RESTful APIs and design API specification. What is the other name for API specification? API contract or API spec exactly. Okay. And what do we define there? We define requests, responses, resources, okay, methods, protocols, media types, right? Security schemes. I have mentioned the same. Okay. The design center of any point platform supports RAML 1.0 and 0.8. Here, I wanted to mention one point exactly. If they ask you, do you have experience on 0.8? Tell that I don't have, because RAML 1.0 has started in almost like 2015 or 16. Okay, and it is the latest version. 0.8 is the old version. Design Center is supporting that, but there are certain changes between 0.8 and 1.0. Even in my experience, I am using 1.0 until now. I haven't used 0.8. There are so many features which are not available in 0.8, which are available in 1.0. Okay, for that reason, they may ask you what is the difference and all exactly. Please clearly say that I don't have exposure to 0.8. I'm always using 1.0. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Obviously, when you see it also, there are two options, right? 0.8 and 1.0. Okay, and what is the latest version? 1.0. Okay, fine. Now, see, when it comes to RAML, there are certain things which you'll remember. There are so many things in the RAML, but immediately after coming to RAML, there are certain questions. Traits, resource types, library, okay, security schemes. These are the main important data types. These are the main important things we have to remember for sure. If they ask apart from those, we can tell clearly, I have never used that kind of feature. That is fine. Fragments. Yeah, fragments, obviously. Okay, fragments, trait, resource types, library, fragment, data types, security schemes. Okay, these are the normal regular ones which we try to use. Now, next question is, what is a trait and how do we import a trait into root RAML? Okay, traits are reusable components in RAML similar to functions. Generally, in any programming language, we use functions, right? Why do we use functions? Basically, whenever there is a reusability concept, then we'll try to create one function and we'll reuse the same across different places. Exactly the same way, this is also, it is a reusable component similar to functions in RAML. It allows you to declare common properties for HTTP methods. Whenever there are some repeating patterns in HTTP methods, for example, headers are there, authorization some related information, okay, response related information, this kind of information which is common across different methods can be taken, and then you can write it once and you can reuse it. Exactly. Yeah, right. Now, traits are used to define method level nodes such as descriptions, headers, query params, security schemes, and responses. These are the things which you can define. Exactly. Now, traits can be called by resources by using is keyword, right? And how do you import that to the main RAML exactly? In the headers part, with the help of traits keyword. Okay, right. Okay. Why is it used exactly? Why is trait used exactly? It is useful to enhance readability, because whenever we have designed our RAML, it will be very long, right? Without the best practices. Yes or no? If you use the best practice, one of the best practices using traits exactly. What happens? Readability will increase. That is one thing. Reduce redundancy. The same code will be repeated, or same snippet will be repeated across different methods, right? That will be reduced exactly. Okay, and then it will improve the consistency also. Okay, and we can improve the modularity also. Okay, right. See, now I told, how did I divide that? I told it is a reusable component which is used for defining the common attributes of a method exactly, right? And then I used the use keyword is used to refer the document, and then I told readability, redundancy, and consistency. Okay, see, just memorize it in such a way, understand the concept and memorize it. It will be easy. Okay, fine. Now, what is resource type and how do we call a resource type in resources of root RAML? Similar again. Now, resource type is a template that is used to define common properties of resources. Resource can have a resource can have responses, body, headers, query params, URI param, everything, right? Yes or no? Okay. So see the difference. Traits is used to define only method level. Whatever you refer inside method level, those only can be defined. But resource type, it's not like that. Till resource level. Got it? Okay. Resource type is a template that is used to define the common properties of resources. Resource type is used to define descriptions, methods, and parameters that can be used by multiple resources. Got it? Okay. Resource type can be called by resource using the type keyword. It is useful to enhance, again, readability, reduce redundancy, and improve consistency. I have used the same point. Got it? Okay. Now, what is a library and how do we import a library component into RAML? Okay, see here. Again, see, these are all topics which are related to best practices only, if you understand. Without these also, you can do your RAML or API specification. But if you follow this, the modularity, readability, consistency can be achieved. Got it? Okay. Next, library is a collection of data types, security schemes, and resource types. See, all can be included in a library, and then you can refer them into the main RAML or root RAML. Exactly. It also allows you to define multiple types within the same library. Multiple types means data types, security schemes, traits, everything. Exactly. If it is data types, only data type can be allowed. But library, it will allow data types, traits, everything inside that. Exactly. Okay. Now it enhances again modularity and readability. Right? The main code will become shorter, right? You can modularize a bit of code into another one, right? Exactly. That is the reason of modularity here. Exactly. And the library can be called with the help of keyword uses. Okay, you will use a keyword uses, and in the root RAML in the header exactly will define that, And after that, if you wanted to use that in the resources, how do you do that? With the help of dot notation. With the help of dot. See, for example, like we'll give a name to the library, right? And that name dot, for example, trait you wanted to do. You want to refer to trait dot that particular trait name. Got it? That is the reason I have given it is useful to, sorry, keyword in root RAML and a dot notation to refer to a type inside that library. Got it? Clear, right? Next. Now you may get a question. Most of the time, the question is what is the difference between trait and resource type? Okay, but I wrote trait, resource type, and library. Okay, see here already we know, right? Already we know the definitions. The same can be explained here. A trait is a reusable component RAML. It allows you to declare common properties for HTTP methods. Okay, resource type is a template that is used to define the common properties of resources. Okay, and library is a collection of data types, security schemes, and resource types. If you have this clarity, that is more than enough. What can be achieved through library, what to say, like resource type and traits. Any questions so far? Okay, fine. Now immediately see, there is a concept called fragment, right? What is a fragment? What is a fragment? Fragment is also a reusable component in RAML. Okay, right. Now it is used to externalize your security schemes, library, resource types, traits, data types, etc. We'll externalize them, and it can be reused across any API specification. But library, data type, resource type, it can be reused only within a API specification. If you wanted to use it in another API specification, it is not possible. But you can define them as a fragment, publish it to Exchange, and then you can reuse them in a different API specification also. Got it? Right? Now, it cannot be an independent API specification. You need to remember that exactly. Okay, fragment cannot be an independent API specification. What does it mean? See, independent API specification means you can test it, right? Exactly. But here you will not be able to do that exactly. You can, API specification is different, fragment is different. Fragment is a part of it exactly. It can be reused by multiple API specifications. It cannot act as an independent API specification. Okay, is that clear? Okay, fine. Now there may be a question like this: how do you maintain readability, modularity, or reusability? Okay, and consistency. What are the words I used? Readability, reusability, modularity, consistency. How? Data types, resource types, libraries, and fragments. Okay, with the help of these reusable concepts, what we can do, we can maintain readability, reusability, modularity, and consistency. Okay, next, what are data types? Okay, what are data types? Data type is used to describe and validate the data, right, inside the API specification. What kind of data? It can be a, no, it can be a header, it can be a request body, it can be a body, it can be a response. Yes or no? Right? Okay. Now RAML includes several built-in data types. Exactly. What built-in data types? String, number, integer, array, object. Okay. Boolean, date only, time only, date time. Did you see whether we have mentioned any time this date only or time only, date time? Why? Why? JSON will not support date, right? Exactly. You understand, right? That is the reason we have never used date time or date these kind of inbuilt data types. Exactly. Most of the time we used to we used to use string, number, integer, and boolean. Okay, and enum also, I think. Okay, so see, already inbuilt facility has been provided by RAML. Exactly. Now with the help of inbuilt ones, we can do custom ones also. What are those exactly? See, for example, like your request is there, it is an object, okay, and it has some arrays, or it is an array, it has some objects. All these can be defined with the help of inbuilt data types. Exactly, that's what I am mentioning here. RAML also supports customer user defined data types. Data type is also used to define the structure of request body, response body, or error body in the RAML. Is that clear? Okay, see, if they ask you, data type is used to describe and validate data in the API specification, that is more than enough answer. But if you have some 1, 2, 3 extra points, it will be helpful for us, and it will give us a clear understanding. Okay, it has built-in data types, and we can create custom data types also based on the built-in data types. Exactly. Okay, clear, right? Next. Now, I think we discussed this, but I'll again take this point. How do you restrict or manage any extra properties in the JSON object of RAML? What is that keyword? There is a additional properties keyword, okay, is used to restrict any extra properties in the JSON object of RAML. Okay, by default, it allows extra properties. If you don't mention anything, it will, by default, it will allow. What is the value? By default, it is true. If you wanted to not to allow, if you want to restrict, then what is the value you have to give? Additional properties false. Okay, if it is a array, additional items. See, I told you for object, there is a possibility of getting into an array also, right? Okay, array. What does it mean exactly? For example, there is a object, and what does it mean? There is an object. For example, there are 3 properties. Okay, salary, designation, some values are there. Okay, value 1, v2, okay, v3. If I don't mention additional properties, if I send some other property also, it will go. Okay, some for example, like I sent status in the body, active, for example. If I don't mention this, now if I mention additional properties false, it will not accept this. It will reject the request. The properties are extra in number. Okay, if you want, then by default it will be allowed. Exactly, additional properties true. If you don't want, then you have to mention additional properties as false. Exactly. If it is array, for example, 1, 2, 3, these are the values. I wanted some extra items. For example, like one array, I wanted 10 objects. Now I have only 3. Okay, if I tell additional items false, what happens? It will not allow more than that. Exactly. Got it? Okay. And the same way, okay, the next question will come. Okay. See, how do you restrict? Okay, this is done, right? Yes. Okay. How do you define security policies? How do you define? There is a separate section called security schemes, right? Okay, with the help of security schemes are used to define the policies. What are the policies? Basic auth, client ID enforcement, OAuth 2.0, exactly, that need to be applied to an API. The secured by keyword is used to apply the policy in a resource. If you use secured by in the headers, it is applicable to all the resources. If not, then if you wanted to apply for a specific resource, you need to go into that resource and then apply secured by. Okay, fine, got it. For example, secured by is applied at both levels, at the header level as well as the resource level, which will be taken into consideration. Resource level. Okay, resource level will be taken into consideration. Please keep that in mind. Okay, fine. Is there a way to restrict the number of properties in a JSON object? Number of properties. Exactly, I want 5 properties or 10 properties, or say I told additional there. Here I wanted to restrict it to number exactly. Then there is a min properties and max properties. Minimum I need 3 properties. If less than 3 comes, it will not accept. Okay, max properties I told 5, minimum 3, maximum 5. I told minimum 5, maximum 5. It will accept more than 5 only. Got it? Same way min items, max items. If you want to restrict the number of items in a array, you want to keep minimum min items, maximum max items, and if you want to apply for a range, min items and maximum items. Is that clear? And how do you handle multiple request data types in RAML? Okay, I want application JSON as well as application XML. For the same API, I want to accept 2 data types. Whether is that possible? Yes, it is possible. One way, don't mention anything in the body. Then it will accept any kind of data. Exactly. Okay. Now I wanted to accept JSON as well as XML. I have written, right? See, body application JSON, application XML. Now it will accept both the data types. If I have one consumer, there are 10 consumers, 5 consumers are sending my data in JSON, 5 consumers are sending in XML. If I wanted to accept both, how do I do that? This way. Is it clear? Any question here?
What is that symbol?
Which one?
The symbol.
And that I'll tell. I have to go to this. Still, I haven't gone there. Exactly. I told 2 data types I have to accept for my API. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. I can define that in the body section and then I can accept it. Right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Right? Now, please.
Yeah, okay, but how can we send data through this endpoint RAML? Actually, Post is using for to create any new resource and updating resource. So, how can we send data?
Come again. Can you please repeat the question?
Actually, my question is, Post is using for to send a new data to the Post, I mean, RAML. So, how can we send? Directly we are using body application JSON. Then how can we insert the data? I'm asking.
Post created and how can you send through body indicated?
See, post, obviously you need to send body, right? For post. If it is get, you are not sending the body.
Yes.
Okay. Then what is the question here? See, I am accepting, if I put only JSON, it will accept only JSON. It will not accept any other data type. But I have mentioned 2. XML. For example, I told you there are 5 consumers who is sending my data in JSON, other 5 consumers in XML. Obviously, my API specification will accept it, and I will implement the code also in such a way. If I receive JSON data type, this is the transformation I should do, and if we receive XML data type, I will try to do the transformations in a different manner. I'll go for a choice router.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Got it.
See, there may be a business requirement, right? Okay, I need to accept both. Exactly, there is no control for me. Okay, in that instances we'll go for this kind of thing. For your information, till now I haven't implemented this kind of implementation, but it is tricky. In interviews they may ask you, if there is such a situation, then how do you handle this? You can handle this way. Exactly. Okay, fine. Now if you observe here, I have taken JSON1 pipe symbol JSON2. What does it mean? It will allow both JSON1 data type, JSON2 data type. Okay, it will allow 2 types.
So second one.
See, second one is XML. Okay, here if you observe, for JSON also I can accept two different requests. If I wanted to accept two different request structures, for example, one has some 5 properties and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the key values. Other one has 7 properties, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 as the key. I wanted to accept both the requests in JSON. Then how do I do that? I will define a data type 1 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, data type 2 as 7, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. I am giving a pipe symbol here. I am telling accept the 1 also, accept the 2 also. This pipe symbol will take, it will accept either of that exactly. Now API kit router will understand, even first request comes in, it will accept JSON request. Second request comes in, it will accept. It will not throw the error. Is that clear? Okay, fine.
Mahesh, what's that symbol called as? Is that pipe?
It's pipe symbol, pipe.
Okay.
Okay. Now I have a question. For example, I have a name parameter, name. For that, I wanted to accept string. Okay, I mentioned it as a name parameter and types required true type is string. If I don't send any value for that, what happens?
It takes null value.
But body obviously is not available, value is not available. It will not accept, right? It will tell bad request. API kit router will throw the bad request, right? If I wanted to accept the null value also, okay, here like this, you should put string nil. Type string, type symbol nil. It will accept both the values, null also as well as string also. There may be instances you need to accept both the values. In that instances, you need to use this pipe symbol and put nil, not null, nil, and n is small letters. Is that clear?
Yeah, okay.
See, this pipe symbol is used to accept multiple types exactly. That's it. And for accepting null value, nil is the other keyword to use. I hope you people are getting something new, right?
Yeah.
Got it? Yeah, fine.
Yeah, got it.
Now, and there is one more thing. What is the mandatory field in main RAML? Title. Okay, without title, say obviously as soon as you give the name, right, title will be fulfilled there. Yes or no? If you remove that, again it will be a, okay, it is a mandatory field. Okay, next. What is base URI in RAML? Okay, base URI defines the base URL for your API resources. For example, HTTP localhost slash localhost maybe 8081 or 8085 slash API. This is the base path I have given. And resource path I told add, update, delete. Okay, I told add, update, delete. What are the resources? Add, update, delete. What is the resource path? Slash add, slash update, slash delete, right? Yes or no? What is the base path for this? This base URI. If you mention base URI, the first part of the URL will be consisting of base URI. For example, I mentioned base URI as before implementation. Exactly. Okay, before implementation. Okay, this one. Now, what is your resource path? Add, right? Now, what is the URL? HTTP localhost 8085 slash API slash add. base URI plus resource path. Got it? Now for update, base URI plus resource path update. For delete, base URI plus resource path. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Now, it helps identify the service endpoint during design. We can give some dummy URL there. Okay, that is during design. Once it is implemented, you can give the actual URL. Okay, for example, like you go to runtime manager, there you will get the total endpoint, right? You can give that endpoint also. Is that clear? Okay, during design you can give your dummy URL, there is no problem. It is an optional parameter. If you don't give also, nothing will happen, automatically it will take. If you see mocking, documentation, try it option, right? If you give this base URI, this will be reflected there. Got it?
Mahesh,
Okay.
some guys try to pass the version number to base URI and some try to
Yes,
pass it to
yes,
the
yes.
version. Which
You can
one is
you can
recommended?
see, even version is recommended as part of the URI, exactly. Even version. Okay. That point at what they will try to do. Now v1 is the version, right? Here it will add v1 also, then add. Okay. It is a good practice to add version. That is fine. Is that clear?
Yeah, Mahesh. Thank you.
Yeah. And there are base URI parameters also. You can mention that also. Okay. But I have never used in my real-time experience till now. Okay. Focus on, see, my concept is focus on the limited knowledge and then get maximum results. Exactly. That is the reason I'm trying to do all this. Okay. See, RAML, whether, for example, like I'm discussing here, RAML will be covered completely. No. There is so much of RAML. If you sit, you wanted to learn RAML, it will take at least 10-15 days. Seriously. But whatever is required in the real time, whatever is my experience, I have seen in my total experience, right? I will try to summarize that. Okay. And then I'm trying to put that here. Okay. Fine. There may be some other concepts. See, with this limited or this knowledge, if you go to any project, you will be able to survive. That is one thing. And the second thing is, if it is new also, you'll understand how to navigate further. You will not be blocked because already you have the existing strong knowledge, right? Exactly. Okay, fine. Now, okay, I already discussed this, right? What is the RAML version you are currently using? What is the latest version? I have used RAML 1.0 and it is the latest version. I don't have experience. If they ask you 0.8, do you have experience? I don't have experience on it because there are so many differences between 0.8 and 1.0. That's the reason. And already for our experience, right? Already 1.0 is available from 2016, almost like how many years? 4 plus 3, 4 plus 4, 8 years. Obviously, we will be trying to keep more than, not less than 3 to 4 years, right? That is the reason. Obviously, 1.0 is fine. Okay, this point already we discussed it. Have you worked on Swagger or OS? What is Swagger? The old name of OS, exactly. What is OS? OpenAPI specification, exactly. It is again, it is like a RAML, which is used to define the RESTful APIs, basically. Another language, another modeling language. If you encounter a question saying that, have you worked on Swagger or OS? You can straight away say no. Immediately you should tell, if I am given a chance to learn, we'll do that and apply the same in the project. It will be easy also because already you know how a API specification works with RAML, right? It will be very easier for you to, it will take hardly 1-2 days to learn a new one and then you can start again implementing it. I don't mean that you will learn the entire thing. Again, how did you learn RAML? The same way you'll try to learn OS also and then try to implement it. Again, they will follow the readability, modularity, best practices, all those kind of things will be there. Terminology will be different, exactly. Okay. See, just straight away say no, but don't keep quiet. Tell this point. It means I'm ready to learn and migrate to a new thing. I'm ready for that. In my total experience, I have got one opportunity like that. Okay. I made my team to learn that and do that exactly. Okay, fine. Now, See, what are the different HTTP? Sorry, I missed 16th, right? Is it possible to use the same HTTP method multiple times for a single request path? Right? It is not possible. We'll not be using that, and it's not. But a resource can have multiple methods, but not in a duplicate manner. Okay, unique methods. A resource can have unique methods, exactly. For example, there is a child resource for parent resource. In child resource, I used get. Can a parent resource can have get? Okay, I'll go. I think I should ask this question. See, this is a okay. This is a parent resource. Okay. Now this has get. Can employees can have get? Yes, it can have. See, here the path is changing, right? Employees, I told resource path, department, then get. Here for this, I took it as an example, okay? Got it right? Okay, that is possible. For a resource path, multiple same methods are not possible. Okay, fine. Now, how do you handle multiple data formats in the RAML for the same request? What is the first question? Multiple request data types. Multiple request data types. Okay, this is for this one. Okay, this is for multiple data formats. This one, XML and JSON. Anyway, I explained both the questions, right? Anyway, done. Yeah. Now, the next question is, how do you share the API specification with internal and external stakeholders for testing? Mocking. Okay. In documentation also we have try, right? Exactly. Yes. Honestly speaking, that is when. See, there is an option for sharing, right? See, if they are an internal stakeholder, what I can do in design center itself, I have an option called share, right? I can use that. I have written the same thing. For internal stakeholders, use the share option in the design center. For external stakeholders, two options are available. What is that? Enable the mocking service option and share the Postman collection to test the API specification. And what is the other option? Publish the API specification to Exchange, okay, and make this particular API specification as public. Now this is available in API portal, and share the link of that API portal. What is API portal? Whoever is having that particular link, they can access and they can test it. API portal is again a collection of APIs there. For example, like I have 10 APIs, 5 APIs I wanted to make it public. How I can do? Design the API specifications, publish them to Exchange, and then make them public, and then go to API portal. All the APIs will be available there. Okay, for example, I'll just. Have we discussed this earlier? No, right? Okay. If I go to Exchange, see here you have public portal. Okay, you have here. For example, like I want this one to be available in public portal. For example, okay, what should I do? I should go here. I have the share option here. Okay, and I can go to share. If it is internal, again you can share from Exchange also. I told from Design Center, you can do it from Exchange also. Okay, see here there is an option called public, and then save this. Now go to API portal, this public portal. Because this particular API doesn't have any resources, because of that reason, I'm not able to test. For example, like if I take, can an external stakeholder also can do that? If I give this URL, right? Okay, he'll be able to test it. Is that clear? Any questions so far? I hope. RAML questions are finished. Any questions on RAML part?